All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar. We are going to be doing a student-led webinar going over KU's Education Administration and Leadership Policy programs. Our agenda is we're going to go through some quick introductions. I'll give a brief background on the School of Education. We'll do a brief background on the programs that we offer, as well as admission requirements. We'll go into some program deadlines, and then we'll hop into our Q&A discussion. So my name is Cassie Barrera. I work as an admissions advisor for our online graduate programs within our ALPS department, as well as our SPED department and our curriculum and teaching department. There's my contact info there. So if you need anything regarding any of the programs, I'd be happy to help you. Take down my email as well as my phone number. Tonight for our students, we have Garrett joining us. Garrett, if you want to go ahead and give us an introduction.
Sure. My name is Garrett Hartwig. I live in Iowa City, Iowa. I teach and coach at Iowa City West High School, where I've been for the last 13 years. I've been in education for 15 years. Happily living in Iowa City, which is where the University of Iowa is. So proud to be a Jayhawk, though, for the program. I have 4 kids, 10 years and all younger. So life is very crazy and busy, but I'm enjoying it. So.
Perfect. And why don't you tell us which program are you currently enrolled in?
I'm working on my administrative degree, postmaster's program. I've enjoyed the classes so far, and they're going fast.
Awesome. Thanks, Garrett. So, brief overview of KU. The university as a whole was established in 1866. The School of Education itself was established in 1909. All of our programs are going to be accredited through NCATE and CAP, which are standards for programs. You want to make sure when you're looking for a program, those are the licensure accreditation that it needs. In addition to that, we have a global network of more than 300,000 KU alum. We have alumni throughout the United States, as well as, countries overseas. And then we have several accolades within the School of Education, specifically being number 19 for Best Online Masters in Educational Administration program. We're also number 9 in School of Education and Human Sciences, and we are also number 1 for Best Online Masters in Special Education programs. So we offer 2 different programs within the ALPS department. So the first one is going to be the full master's in educational administration. We're going to offer 2 tracks of this master's. So there's going to be a building leadership track and a non-licensure track. The building leadership track is going to be someone who currently holds their teaching license, and they're looking to add those building leadership credentials onto their existing license to step into an administrative type role. And then we offer the non-licensure track, which is going to be for someone who is also wanting to go into administration, but they might work within a setting where an initial license is not required, such as a private school, charter school, or, an educational administration company as a whole that works with schools. So those are going to be the 2 different tracks. The main difference is the building leadership track is going to include this internship. It's 240 hours that you're going to have to log. It's more of an observationship. You're going to observe someone in an administrative role within your setting. And then those who do the non-licensure track are going to do an elective course in place of that internship. So both programs are 12 courses in total. Each course is 8 weeks in duration, 36 credit hours in total, and it can be completed in as few as 2 years. Our cost per credit hour for all of our programs is at $5.95. And so you're looking at an estimated total cost for the master's of $21,420. Here are going to be all of the courses that are included throughout the program. And then also on our website, there are course descriptions if you want to dig a little further into those courses. And then the next program that we offer, which is the one that Garrett is currently enrolled in, is going to be our postmaster's graduate certificate. So this is going to be for someone who already has a master's degree within the education field. So they are wanting to step into the administrative type role, but they're not looking to get a second master's degree. They're really looking to add those building leadership credentials to their existing license, and they don't want to get a second master's. So this is the program for you. There's going to be 8 courses in total, same structure, 8 weeks in duration. This program is going to come out to 24 credit hours. So this one can be completed in as few as a year. Same cost per credit hour, $5.95, estimated total cost of $14,280 for the program. And then since you are adding that building leadership credential to your license, this program is also going to include that internship. And here are the courses listed there. All right, so admission requirements for the programs, it's going to be pretty straightforward. It's an online application. We're going to need official transcripts from all your prior colleges where a degree was conferred. For that postmasters, you're going to need, a bachelor's and a master's. For the full master's, we're going to need a bachelor's degree from an accredited university. We're looking for a 3.0 or higher GPA for both bachelor's and master's degrees. However, if you do have a GPA below 3.0, definitely reach out to someone on the admissions team, and we'd be happy to, walk through other options that we have for you. You'll also need to upload a resume and a cover letter. You'll need a personal statement, letter of introduction, letting us know, why are you interested in this program? Why are you interested in coming to KU? We will need 3 letters of recommendation. Since this is going to be an ed admin program, we're going to look for at least one is going to come from a direct supervisor, and we're going to prefer that the other 2 come from someone who is in an administrative role within your work setting. If you're a non-English speaker, you are going to need a proof of English proficiency, and then there will be an application fee of $65 for the full master's for US residents, and then it's $85 for international applicants. And then for that postmaster's graduate certificate, you're looking at an application fee of $30. All right, so now we're going to jump into the Q&A portion of the webinar. So feel free to answer all or few, pick and choose. But first slide we're going to start with is, what had you choose KU to get this graduate degree? What drew you to KU's postmaster's certificate program? Why was the online format important to you? And what is the online format Canvas like?
The KU program appealed to me for a couple of reasons. Number one, there are a lot of programs out there that can get you endorsements and credentials to be an administrator, but you go through a university like Kansas, that those are qualifications that I feel I can take anywhere and have credibility. So if I apply for administrative positions outside of Iowa, outside of the state of Kansas, a degree from KU resonates. That was the top priority when I was looking at graduate schools. The timing of the KU program also worked out really well for me. I needed to get this program started very quickly, and when I reached out to the advisors and the KU education department, they understood the time crunch I was in to get classes started early in January, and they really helped me out there. So the timing of it, and then graduate school is expensive. I think that the cost of the KU program is very, very fair for the quality of the program and the credentials that come along with it. So I came down to 3 choices in the end, and KU was the best fit for me. The fact that the program is online was also a factor as well. I don't live in Kansas. I don't live in Lawrence. So the ability to take the course online from start to finish is huge. And then the Canvas program, our school district actually uses Canvas as well. So, during the 2020, 2021 school year, we were online as a school district a lot, and we used Canvas. So I actually learned a lot from the KU courses and applied them to my own teaching at the high school on that. So, the Canvas program, the course, it's easily laid out, manageable. So I've really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good to hear. I've talked with a lot of students on the phone who are increasingly becoming more familiar with Canvas due to this
Mhm.
past school year. So I think it is very user friendly. So that's awesome to have that prior experience. So, how is your current role impacted by this degree? What are your plans to use this degree in the future? And then, lastly, do you feel this program will put you in a competitive position to be a leader in your field?
Yeah, I'm kind of in a, a very unique situation personally. I was, we had, the 2021 school year, 2020, 21, whatever, was a very odd school year across the country, and Iowa City was no different. Um, the principal at the high school I was at was actually asked to take the principal position for the online school only students that stayed online that did not want to go return to the buildings during the school year. And he moved over. And then a good friend of mine who was an administrator at the junior high feeder to our high school took the position of head principal at the current high school I'm at. There was some shuffling of staff, and long story short, by the time December rolled around, I was taken out of the classroom and asked to play the role of dean, academic dean, in November. And so then immediately, I'd always had administration on my mind to become an administrator. I did, for thousands of reasons, didn't start the degree, but then the opportunity came for me to be the acting dean for the spring of 2021 at West High. And, I enjoyed that role, and I needed to get my program started. So my current role has been around. I mean, the stuff I'm learning in the courses, like I see on a daily basis now as a partial administrator in the building. As far as the future goes, next year in the Iowa City School Districts, I'm in a position what's called an administrative fellowship, which means I'm an administrator at West High officially by contract, and then I will be officially the dean once I'm completed with my 2021 fall courses for KU, and then we'll go from there. So I feel like the degree is solidifying what I've been able to get started personally in the school I'm at. And then I'll have options. Iowa City is the third or fourth biggest school district in the state of Iowa. So by having a confirmed degree, once it's all said and done, I'll be able to go anywhere I want within our district, anywhere I want in the state of Iowa, and then obviously out of the state if it ever comes to
Yeah, definitely. What a unique position you
that.
were put in. That's
Yeah,
crazy how it all lined up very nice like that.
it was wild.
That's awesome. All right. So this is a question I get a lot on the phone with potential students with the program being fully online. Everybody wants to know, do you have access to your professors? What is it like getting in contact with them? How involved are they with you? And then also, what's your interaction and bond with your classmates that are also taking the program with you?
I feel like access to the professors is exactly what it needs to be honest with you. I personally have not reached out to a lot of my professors because I don't feel like I've had to. The information has been laid out so well in the Canvas course, on Canvas, and in each respective course that I'm not left with a lot of questions, and the professors are very proactive in explaining what they want and what they look for. Um, the time will come when I get to an assignment, no doubt down the road here, and the current class I'm in, a huge focus of the class is a big research paper. Um, the time will come when I have questions, but just given the initial feedback that the professors provide already, I do feel like if I have a question, I can get an answer within 24 hours without an issue. So I personally haven't had to contact a lot of professors because the information is so well explained in advance. But I know when the time comes that I feel like I'll get a response almost immediately. As far as the bond with my classmates go, it's been good. All the classes thus far have had discussions, and I'll see the same students in some classes and meet new students in others. I feel like that's gone really well. As far as speaking to other students, some classes are more independent. Some there are discussions. You'll have some Zooms here and there, but through just panel discussions and things like that, you get to know people overall. So it's as good as in any online program as far as the interaction with classmates can be, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely encouraging to hear. I always like to mention the discussion boards because I think that's a great way to get the conversation going.
Mhm.
So definitely a unique feature to this program is going to be Jayhawkville. I think it's a big selling point for KU. So if you could just give us a little explanation on Jayhawkville and how it's been incorporated into your program, and just what assignments look on the platform.
The Jayhawkville School District is very impressive. I think the first class I took out of the gate was the principalship class, and you referenced Jayhawkville a lot in that class, and then other classes you don't as much, which is natural based on the contents of the course. I told the professor of that class that it was amazing to see how realistic that Jayhawkville school environment is. The problems posed and the issues that different schools face, the zone, the school district, the economics. I mean, it's very realistic. So it's been very interesting. Um, Assignments vary from finding your own school and doing an analysis of a particular topic or question to being told to go to a specific school and analyze the data from that school and kind of try to get to know the school through, it's interesting. They have what all school districts do. You've got the hard facts, which is data driven information. They do a good job of like providing the soft facts or the gossip about a school, so to speak, that does exist in a school district, as we all know. So I've been really impressed. I haven't used Jayhawkville much in the current course I'm in, but the previous three, I used it quite frequently. And the current course I'm in doesn't really merit the need for Jayhawkville. But when I did use it, and I was really impressed by how realistic of a school district it is. It honestly reminded me a lot of the district I'm currently in now.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. I think it's a good opportunity for people to get real life scenarios, but in a
Mhm.
safe environment. So just to piggyback off of that, what's been your favorite class so far and why? And then are there any group projects involved, or would you say it's more individual versus group? And you've kind of already touched on it, but applying what you've learned into your work, I'm sure you're doing that a lot since you're already in the leadership role. But if you just want to touch on those.
Yeah, it's kind of a tie thus far. I'm in the fourth of my classes overall, but I really enjoyed the principalship class. I thought the situations posed by the professor in that class were very good. Like real situations that administrators have to face, be it student parent issues, be it staff issues. And the other class that I was a little hesitant just because it's not really my area, but education law. Um, I learned a lot in that class about just student rights, teacher rights, educational rights overall. I mean, it's really, I would guess I've never taken a law class in my life, for a law school, but I learned a lot in the education law class. I really like that. I mean, I've enjoyed all the classes so far. I think they've all tied into what I've been doing in a quasi administrative role already. I haven't had any group projects to this point, which is probably a good thing in a way, because the course is online and I know that the students in my cohort are from all over the country, so it can certainly be done. So collaboration as far as a group project, it could be there, but it hasn't been yet. So it's been a lot of individual work, which I fully expected. And as I said, the principalship class and the ed law class, I would see scenarios presented in those classes literally on the same day or the same week that I was working with in the role I play right now at my current high school. So learned a lot, and it's been a great experience actually.
Yeah, it sounds like your experience in the program have really gone hand in hand, which is awesome. All right. What have the networking opportunities been for you within the education program? And have you taken advantage of the Flash mentoring?
The networking, I think, is starting to build with the cohort of students that I've been involved with in the program. So I started in January, and it feels like it's been fast and furious. But I've received some emails here and there from other students in the class, and I feel like I know the professors well enough that if I needed to reach out and ask them about anything from any jobs, whatever, they could possibly get back to me on that. So the networking is just develops over time through the class activities. Have not taken advantage of any Flash mentoring at this point. the online networking forum. I kind of assume that's what this is to a degree, but I could be
Yeah,
wrong. So I have not taken advantage of the flash mentor.
totally. Perfect. All right. What has been the most challenging of the program thus far? And, maybe what has surprised you the most about the program?
I think the work is rigorous, but honestly, I think it's at a graduate level, so that has not been a surprise. You have to budget time for it. You can't go into the program thinking that you're going to sit down with assignments due on a Monday. You're going to sit down Sunday afternoon and pound them all out. Like you really got to budget your time. I knew that going in, so I guess if that's a challenge, that's something you need to think about. What has surprised me is honestly, like I said, the relevancy of some of the stuff we're doing in the class to what the administrative roles are like. They really go hand in hand. So that, sometimes you hear, I've taken other graduate programs to get a plus 30 on added to my master's, where you're just doing work that I don't know if I'll ever use this in my day-to-day activities, but there's been a lot of instances where I will apply what I learned in the class. If not this year, next year, I know I can fall back on it. The textbooks I bought, I'm saving those. You return them in other classes, but I'll keep those. So they've been very helpful.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Just to piggyback off of that, what would you say general is how much time you spend approximately each week to work through your coursework?
Um, I try to grind my classes out Monday through Friday because my weekends are insane. So I will budget probably 2 hours a day, maybe. I'll budget 10 hours. Do I use the full 10 hours? No. But I'd say a solid hour, hour and a half daily uh,
Okay.
on average, but some days more, some days less. The current class I'm in now, the big focus is a big research paper. So the actual module assignments been less than other classes, but you also have to, I've got to get this paper started because it's the main part of the grade and it's big. And so you start to factor that in. I'd say an hour and a half daily. And that's the only, you could do probably an hour, 45 minutes a day if you did it 7 days a week, but I can't afford to do that on the weekends. So,
Yeah.
and I've learned to set goals by Tuesday, I try to get this part of the module done, no matter how long it takes. Thursday, I want to be here. And usually it's been working out.
Yeah, that's a good way to plan it out, is have those little goals for yourself. So this will kind of tie nicely into that. How do you balance your school with work and your home life? And, what would be your biggest tip for getting that, good balance? And then what would be advice for new students?
As far as balancing school, number one, make sure you have a place that you can focus and work. Um, you're working with other graduate level students and peers and professors. Like, you want to put your best foot forward. And I would recommend that you budget time and a place where you can work undistracted for an allotted amount of time. And then don't wait to start. Some of the assignments initially, you read them like, wow, that's a lot. It feels overwhelming, but then you start to break it down step by step. They're very manageable and they're very realistic. But if you start when you say you're going to start and you continue with it, it's very fair and it's very good. Um, you know, Advice to new students coming in is basically just that. Make sure you have a place to work where you can focus, and an hour to an hour and a half daily, I think is the perfect amount of time, because you can really focus for that period of time, get to meet your daily goals as far as what you want to get done, and then the course just flies by from there.
Definitely. I think those are great tips. And that's the first time I've heard the tip of, having a dedicated space to do the work. And I think that's, definitely important to be successful in the program. So that wraps up the questions that we had. Just really quick. So right now we are accepting and reviewing applications for the fall term. So we've already passed our priority deadline. So right now we're looking at an application deadline of August 6th. That's when everybody's applications need to be in and completed for the fall start of August 23rd. I don't think we have any other questions. We went through a great amount, so I appreciate your time. Again, my name is Cassie. I work as an admissions advisor on our ALPS programs as well as our SPED and CNT programs. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. My contact info is there. I want to thank you, Garrett, for taking the time out of your evening to meet with me. This has been super helpful for us. And then lastly, just want to say, if you are interested in applying for the fall term, definitely reach out to an admissions advisor to see if you'd qualify for an application waiver fee. And of course, I would like to tell everybody rock chalk.